Hello, everybody. This is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C. So, I want to do an episode not necessarily reacting to a song or talking too much about a song. I wanted to talk about a topic: auto tune or pitch correction. Now, I've talked about this a lot in the past. Um, there are still so many people who deny that their favorite artists use autotune. Autotune has a real negative connotation for some reason. A lot of people hear that and think that that their favorite artist is being attacked or whatever. It's never really used in a positive way. Musicians, especially ones from my generation, 80s and 90s, where autotune really wasn't used in a lot of music. And being from the 80s and 90s, I listened to a lot of music from the 60s and 70s, and there was no auto tune being used. I'm going to put on something and I want you to listen to it, okay? And what I want to see is if you catch this. And this is something that is really important for me to do because everyone uses auto tune. Everyone uses auto tune. It has been, I mean, we've had people do videos showing us that Michael Bublé uses auto tune. They've taken the stems from his music and looked at just the vocal track and did all this analysis and basically proved. I mean, for as much as you want to consider it evidence, proved that Michael Bublé uses auto tune or pitch correction. The way I look at it, pitch correction is more of a manual thing. You can go in, you can look at all of the um, words that were sung and where they fall as far as the note that they're on. And then if something is a little sharp or a little flat, then you can go in, find just that one word or that one syllable, and then adjust it, right? And there's ways you can adjust it. You can make it so the middle of the note is right in tune. Now, maybe the beginning of the note started off a little sharp. So you can actually make it so it becomes flat. So the one syllable is not starting here and ending here. You flatten it out. And when you do that, you usually get a a type of a robotic sound. And I'm talking about auto tune and pitch correction being more of a manual thing, auto tune being more of a configuration. So you configure something, you put the tolerance, you put when you want the window, when you want to, auto tune to start 50 milliseconds after the word is sung or whatever the case is. You can configure it so you can use it live. And a lot of artists use it live, okay? Now, country music has been more and more and more using autotune and pitch correction. Okay, I'm pulling up here something that I think you all will find interesting. This is Morgan Wallen, all right? Morgan Wallen, this video has, for a little bit of context, this video has 197 million views. It is a huge hit. And a lot of people who are Morgan Wallen fans come right out and say he's the best country singer out there right now. He's the best thing. However, listen to the word you. Sometimes singers, when they sing a certain word or they make a certain shape in their mouth, they come out sharp and then drop down or whatever. Just listen to when he says the word you. Both times, they both start off sharp and then get sucked down. And you can hear the robotic programming, whether it's manually done or configured, you can hear the auto tune in the word you. You hear that? It's a robot. So why do I bring this out? It's not a knock on Morgan Wallen. I actually think he's a fantastic singer. So why do I mention this? Why make a video and mention this? Well, because we need to figure something out with this auto tune, and it lies in the hands of the engineers. Okay, we need to figure something out with auto tune. It's very difficult to say anybody, Morgan Wallen, Mariah Carey, anyone. It's very difficult in 2025 to say anyone but Benson Boone. Well, although I think Benson Boone is probably one of the best male vocalists we have out there right now, and I'm sure he uses auto tune and pitch correction, especially when they're doing studio work, right? But it's very difficult in 2025 to confidently say, oh, this guy's voice is the best, or this guy's the best singer. Because when they actually do something that's a little bit out of tune, we really don't know, because 99% of the stuff that gets presented to us is getting presented to us after it has been mixed, mastered, and engineered and edited. And yes, pitch corrected. A good engineer, especially if they're getting paid to do their job, they're not going to want to release something that makes the singer look like they cannot sing in key. So there's a little bit of pressure for them to use auto tune and to use pitch correction. But this is what I think needs to happen. And I think it needs to happen real soon. Okay. Because there's still a lot of purists out there, myself included, although I understand the use of auto tune. There's still a lot of purists out there who just want, like, we did it in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Why the heck can't we do it now? And it's almost like plastic surgery. How many famous people do you know who have had multiple plastic surgeries, and then you look at their face afterwards and you think, wow, they look great? No, they usually look like a cyborg, or something went wrong, or they dipped their face into hot burning oil, right? Auto tune is like that. The artists continue and continue to use it, or engineers continue and continue to use it, but you can always tell. And if you're driving down the road and you're listening to a song and you hear the because the voice is getting all distorted because of the auto tune taking place. When you're driving down the road listening to that on the radio, one begins to think, why haven't we figured this out yet? And now AI is out. That's right. AI can write a song and give us a fake vocal track from a non-human. None of it was an actual person. And that sounds better than what some of these engineers are doing to actual professional singers when they overuse auto tune and pitch correction. There's got to be some middle ground here, because everyone's using auto tune. And there are a lot of artists out there who release songs that sound great. And because their production team is good and their engineer is good, you actually don't hear the auto tune. I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong on this. I'm not a huge Taylor Swift fan, but I think her production team has got it down to a science. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever been driving down the road and a Taylor Swift song comes on the radio and I keep it on. No, I'm just kidding. And a Taylor Swift song comes on the radio and I hear auto tune throughout the song. But I do hear that with some other singers. I've heard it with Dua Lipa. Country nowadays, the amount of auto tune, like this here by Morgan Wallen, the amount of auto tune that's in country. I listen to country stations because I actually like country. And I get like so confused and angered when I hear a country song with globs and globs and globs of pitch correct and auto tune. What are you doing? You're the genre that gave birth to Dolly Parton, Shania Twain, all of the Juice Newton, Kenny Rogers. Why is country overusing auto tune? It makes absolutely no sense to me. You're a genre known for having tremendously good singers, and you're cheapening your product by doing that. When you release a song by a top country star and is auto tune from beginning to end, you're taking your product and you're saying, we don't want to try anymore. The artist doesn't need to actually practice or rehearse or be that good anymore, because we're going to do it all in the back end. We're going to do it all in post. right? Well, that's not what country's about. Country is still doing good live performances. Country does a lot of great stuff. There's no, what are you doing it in post for? You know, I feel like the country singers, they should be honing in on their skills. Here's a good example for you. Chris Stapleton. I think he's absolutely phenomenal. Do I think that his producers and engineers use auto tune when they go ahead and release a song to everybody? Yes, I do. Because of how heavy the competition is, I believe the engineer is there looking at the vocal track, listening, and is ready to do some type of pitch correction if need be, right? But I don't know how they figured it out. I don't hear any pitch correction or auto tune in a Chris Stapleton track. In fact, if someone said to me he actually doesn't use auto tune, I'd be like, oh, excellent. Neither did Kenny Rogers, right? So, I mean, it's not the use of auto tune and it's not the use of pitch correct that I find to be baffling and confused by. It's that we can hear it. If you can hear auto tune or pitch correction at all in a song where it's not featured as an effect, because some songs actually use auto tune as an effect. Imogen Heap has done it, Cher did it in the 90s. And a lot of hip hop does it today. The auto tune is kind of done on purpose as an added effect. But if you're known to be an actual vocalist, every song you release, you can hear that auto-tune is being used. It does make us shake our head. And we're like, why? Why is auto-tune being used? Why can I hear the auto-tune if you're supposed to be this amazing vocalist? I mean, am I going crazy here? Shouldn't there be a way, as we approach 2026, shouldn't there be a way to use it but not abuse it?